So, Project Hail Mary was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and it stars Ryan Gosling as an astronaut known as Rylan Grace. He is on this mission. He wakes up in a deep sleep, and he realizes he's all alone, and he must save Earth. And he meets this alien he nicknames Rocky, and they both work together to try to find a way to save their planets and such. This was a movie I've been hearing a lot about and been seeing ads for since, I believe, sometime in the summer of last year. They're really hyping this movie up. I know that's based off a book from Andy Weir, who also wrote The Martian, which I never read either book, unfortunately, so I can't judge it as a book adaptation. But I do like Phil Lord and Chris Miller. If you don't know them, they directed the Jump Street movies. They also directed the Lego movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. They are very consistent when it comes to movies and such. And they're also heavily involved with the Spider-Verse series, so that's also really cool. And the trailers themselves looked pretty cool. I do like Ryan Gosling, and I do think this movie looked really interesting. And having now seen the movie, I can say this is probably my favorite movie of the year so far. Everything about this movie just worked for me. This is a movie that, honestly, this is the first movie of the year that I would say it needs to be seen in a movie theater. That needs to be seen on the biggest screen possible if you can. If you live near an IMAX theater, you gotta see this in IMAX. This movie is incredible. So let's start off with the performances. I thought the performances are really good. Ryan Gosling is pretty much the main character throughout this entire movie. He's in pretty much every scene in the movie, and he is really good in this movie. He is both funny, he has a lot of dramatic moments. He's very good in this movie. Also, the voice actor who plays Rocky, I thought he did a good job as well. Sandra Huller, she's not in the movie as much, but her scenes are pretty good. Mainly, the movie relies on the relationship between Rylan Grace and also Rocky. Their bond in this movie is very powerful and very impactful, and it feels very human compared to like what a lot of movies would probably do with a story like this. I do think this movie it handles the relationships very well. Also, the visuals in this movie, they are astonishing. All the space sequences are really cool, but also I was really impressed because it looked like they used a lot of practical effects in this movie. Like a lot of scenes kind of looked like they were not CGI or in today's day and age AI, but like the visuals themselves look absolutely astonishing. There's even scenes where Brian Gosling is looking out, and it clearly looks like it's all, practical. Even space looks pretty practical. Normally, I feel like that would be something that was like, oh, we'll do it in post with CGI and such. No, even space looks very practical. Like the ships themselves also look very practical. I did find that very interesting. The cinematography absolutely gorgeous. The score by Daniel Pemberton, wow. This is the score of this movie actually really surprised me. It was both impactful, it was insightful, it was something that was really I really didn't expect to have that great of a score, but like listening to the music, I'm like, this music is just incredible, and especially hearing it in a theater, it's really it's really impressive. And I do feel like this movie has a very old school vibe to it. Pretty much everything about this movie feels like it didn't come out in 2026. Maybe if it came out in like the 70s, I would understand it a little bit more. But no, this movie feels like it's very old school. Like again, the practical effects for the most part, even the logo itself is a very old MGM logo. But I kind of feel like the movie is very much it's akin to like all the old school movies like this. It got vibes of 2001: A Space Odyssey in this movie, but also got vibes from other movies. Like it's kind of like Interstellar meets The Martian meets Arrival meets a lot of space movies in general or alien movies in some way. And I feel like this movie will go up with them as some like actually really good space movies out there. And I do think that the movie, when I went into this movie, I thought it was going to be something a little bit different. I thought it was going to be like some buddy movie that was going to be like a fun movie where it's like, okay, we're saving the earth and such, but we're having a good time doing it. But when you get into the movie, it's like, okay, the movie actually has a lot more going for it. And I do think the movie actually works when it actually takes those directions and actually takes those leaps. This movie does have a unique take on the story rather than just simply going, let's just do a fun buddy movie and such. The relationship still works, don't get me wrong, but I was just kind of taken aback at first, but it eventually, as the movie kept going, I'm like, no, this movie works with the style it's going for. And despite that, this movie can be very fun. This movie can be very funny. This movie can also be very heartfelt. This movie can make you laugh, can make you cry, can make you. This movie will get you. This movie will get you in some way. And I think that's probably one of the best things I can say about this movie. And again, if you can see this movie on the biggest screen possible, I would highly recommend it. I may try to seek out seeing it in IMAX because this movie it begs to be seen on the biggest screen possible, especially like one sequence where you kind of see in the trailer, but I won't spoil it entirely. But there's one sequence in space that looks incredible. Well, it's not just one sequence; it's all the sequences in space that look really incredible, and it's like I kind of want to experience that on a bigger screen. Like that looks impressive. It looks incredible, and this movie was a lot of fun. Now, this movie does have like a couple issues in my opinion. Now, they're not horrible by any means, but there's something I kind of noticed. One, it feels like the movie has multiple endings. Now, I won't spoil it, and I won't say much because I haven't read the book, but there were times where I was watching this movie, it's like, okay, this feels like a nice way to wrap up the story. Oh, no, it's still going. Okay, well, now this feels like a nice way to wrap up the story. Oh, no, it's going again. Okay, well, that's a little disappointing. Well, I guess maybe not how it is compared to the book. Maybe I shouldn't judge it, but the way it kind of felt, the movie felt like it had multiple endings. Like, don't get me wrong, the majority of the movie feels like it's brushing by really fast despite its runtime, but like it felt like there were multiple times where it's like we kind of want the story to end this way, but we also kind of want it to end this way. And I get like why the movie kind of ends the way it does. So it kind of took me aback at first. It's kind of like how I look at Sinners, where it's like that movie I love obviously, but the fact that the movie had like this mid-credit scene that felt like 5 minutes, it's like I don't know if this is necessary, but it's also necessary at the same time. I feel like that's the same way with this movie. It's like I don't know if all these endings are necessary, but the way it does work in the movie, it actually does work. So I will say this movie, despite that, I think this movie is probably the first movie that I would highly recommend seeing. Not only recommend seeing, highly recommend seeing in a movie theater. Everything about this movie works. The acting is really good. The relationship between Ryan Gosling's character and also Rocky is also very good. The visuals, obviously, the practical effects are astonishing. The cinematography is gorgeous. I love the old school vibe of this movie, where it feels like I'm kind of watching 2001: A Space Odyssey, but not 2001: A Space Odyssey at the same time. I do think that the movie has a unique take on the story that works for the movie, and it's very fun, it's very funny, it's very heartfelt. This is a movie that will get an emotional impact from you. And again, I would highly recommend seeing this movie in a massive movie theater, like a massive screen, the biggest screen that you can get to. This is probably the first movie of the year with the highest score so far of the year. I will give it 3.5 out of 4 stars. See it. So, what is your favorite space movie? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat. Stay safe.